We can extend the idea of solving two-step equations, to three-step equations. We can extend it, to 4 steps, 5 steps, actually really as many steps as you like. So let's have a look at these 3 examples. Okay, so these are examples of equations that do require 3 specific steps. We have first one, 2x plus 1 divided by 3 equals 5. Okay, so now remember with fractions, there are implied brackets around the numerator. Okay, so we're going to apply BIDMAS now in reverse. In other words, the first thing that we're going to move over is the division by 3. Okay, BIDMAS means brackets first. When you're solving an equation, it's BIDMAS in reverse, it means brackets last. Okay, so we do everything else outside the brackets. So that's divide by 3. When you move it over, it becomes a multiplication by 3. So 2x plus 1 is equal to 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, now it becomes a two-step equation. Okay, and you've seen these ones before. So 2x plus 1 equals 15. Let's move the positive 1 over to the other side. It becomes negative 1. Okay, so 2x is equal to 15 minus 1, which is 14. And then lastly, we're going to divide both sides by 2. Basically, that means this 2x, which means 2 times x, or x times 2. When we move the times 2 over to the other side, it becomes a division by 2. Okay, so x is equal to 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, now if we want to test this solution, 7, if you substitute it back into the original equation, let's test left-hand side, make sure it equals 5. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I think we're happy with that. Let's have a look at part B. 3x over 5 minus 9 equals 0. Okay, so again, let's do BIDMAS, but in reverse when solving this equation. Okay, so we have a 3 times x. Okay, remember there are implied brackets there around the numerator, divided by 5. Okay, minus 9. So if addition and subtraction are the last thing that we do in BIDMAS, when solving an equation, they're the first things that we move over to the other side. So 3x over 5 is equal to, when we move negative 9 over, it becomes positive 9. Remember that the sign switches. Okay, now it becomes a two-step equation. 3x divided by 5 equals 9. Okay, remember that there are still brackets around the numerator. So in other words, the next thing we move over, okay, or the next number we move over is this division by 5. Divide by 5, move it over, it becomes multiplication by 5. Okay, so 3x is equal to 9 times 5 is 45. Finally, we basically divide the other side by 3 because 3x, okay, this means 3 times x, which means x times 3. The opposite of multiplying by 3, okay, no surprises, division or divide by 3. 45 divided by 3 is 15. Therefore, x equals 15. Does this work? Let's see. 3 times 15 is 45. 45 divided by 5, is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. I think we're happy with that. Last one, 5 minus x over 2 equals 8. Remember, again, there are implied brackets around the numerator, which means that the first thing that we move over is this division by 2. Moving the division by 2 over becomes multiplication by 2. Okay, 5 minus x is equal to 8 times 2, which is 16. Okay, so that 2 moves over, it becomes multiplication by 2. Next thing we do is that we switch the 5 and the x around. Because the x is negative, let's make the x positive. Okay, so x minus 5 is equal to, instead of the 16 being positive, it becomes a negative. Okay, so last thing we do now it becomes a one-step equation, in fact. X minus 5 equals negative 16. This negative 5, it's going to move over to the other side, or we're going to move it to the other side. It becomes a positive 5. Okay, so x is equal to negative 16. Okay, plus 5 is negative 11. Therefore, x equals negative 11. Let's test it. 5 minus negative 11, minus 5 minus minus 11 becomes plus. Okay, addition. 5 plus 11 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8, which equals the right-hand side. So we are correct there.